Hey y'all. So,
Man, you started fast. You sitting on God, what are you? Dang.
anyway, so we are going to talk about our top 5 memories. Yep, from the time we started dating
Oh, that's a lot of time.
to now. So not just since we've been married, but top 5 since we started dating till now, and we'll go back and forth.
I'm instantly stressed.
You thought it was going to be since the marriage.
I did.
No.
I'm instantly stressed.
No. So,
This is not my concept, so.
I think it'll be fun. Yeah, so I'll do one, then you do one.
No,
you'll
you got to
one.
do all 5.
No. We're going back and forth. This
Oh
is
my God, I don't have
dialogue.
it. I don't have it. I was prepared for the 1 year. I wasn't
No.
prepared for the whole relationship.
One of mine, I'll start. One of mine is, it changes when I've had libations. I'm not prepared, and it's my thought. Okay, let me think. So here we go.
I'm back, people. Sorry. Had to regroup.
So let's see, top 5. Pops in my head the first thing, Stevie Wonder. Somebody that I always wanted to see, that I never thought I'd get to see, and he surprised me with Stevie Wonder tickets and sent me and my best friend. So it's not my number 1, but it's in the top 5. So I'm going to say them, but they're not going to be in order. So that's one of my top 5s.
Top 5.
Awesome.
Top 5 moment was our 1-year anniversary trip to California. Definitely a great trip, like super dope. Just me and her, like just celebrating the culmination of like where we getting to where we said we wanted to get to, and like celebrating a year of that. So definitely a top 5 moment.
Number 2. Nope, just another top 5. I'm not gonna say number 2.
The second thing.
The second thing that I could think
I got
of.
your back, man.
I appreciate it. My engagement, that was pretty thoughtful.
Really?
It was, and I didn't know that you had it in you.
I didn't either.
No, real talk, because it's not the type of thing that he does. So
listen, let me tell y'all about this engagement. I'm not gonna get into detail, but I was stressing out about how I was gonna propose because, like, you gotta understand, like, my wife is like the most thoughtful person when it comes to like gift giving, or the most thoughtful person when it comes to like doing stuff. So in my mind, I was like, how can I give her the same thing that she gives to other people? Like, how can I create that experience? And it took me a minute. Like, I worked on it for like months.
It was awesome. It was unexpected because I know it's not something that he does. So it was really most definitely one of my top 5 moments because it was perfect and it was thoughtful, and it surprised me, which it's never bad to be surprised in a relationship. And for that moment, it was perfect. So, on you, bud.
Jeez, you would want to do this now.
I know, right? I just thought it was perfect timing. I can't think either. That's why I said do it now.
Another top 5 moment for me was our wedding day.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Our wedding day was like, the only thing that was missing from our wedding day was that they didn't play Jumpman by Drake and Future. Other than that, that's the only one thing that I wish, because that was my jam at the time, and some kind of way it got lost in translation. But everything else, like, it was like if y'all ever had like a vision of how you wanted something to go, and it goes exactly how you wanted it to go, that was my wedding. And for me as a dude, like, because dudes be like, we just be participants in weddings. Like, we ain't really the focal point. Like, it ain't really about us. We're like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, whatever you want to do. Like, I just want to say I do and get it over with. But like, from start to finish, top to bottom, like, exactly what I wanted. So, my wedding.
Yeah, that would be my third thing, my wedding.
So quickly, huh? Okay.
I mean, You know, it was easy libations. I just piggybacked. For me, because we had been planning it for so long and nobody knows that, I mean, because it was, quick version, an engagement party, that was a surprise wedding.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say like
It was
we had
an
a surprise
party
wedding.
that was a surprise wedding. We've been planning it for
A year.
but nobody knew that. So for us to see our vision come to life was perfect. And for me, being divorced and knowing that's how I wanted to feel on my wedding day, and I actually felt that way on my wedding day, it's like the best thing ever. It was exactly how I envisioned feeling as a child, if that makes sense to women who envision their weddings and what they think they'll feel like and blah, blah, blah. I felt exactly how I thought I would feel, and it was perfect. And it was most definitely my number one. Honestly, like that would be, if I had to put it in order, my wedding would be the number one pick of my top memories from the 7 years we've been together. So on your number 3.
My number 3 would probably be the first morning that I woke up to her as my wife. I think like for me, because of the nature of our relationship and like everything we had been through, and for like her to have my last name and like to wake up to her knowing that like that was the first day of the rest of my life that I would wake up to the person that I wanted to wake up to every day. I think that was like a top 5 moment for me, because it's like, oh, like you're mine, like it's done, like done data. So it was just like, you know, and honestly getting to relive that moment every day. Like there's really not a day that goes by like that I don't wake up to my wife. And so for me that's major. Like I know a lot of people probably think like, oh, that's like some sappy stuff, but like no, real talk. Like
Good choice of word.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for that.
You like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not probably what the first thing that popped in your head. Appreciate it.
No, it was though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my number 1 choice.
Oh, good job.
But yeah, like being able to wake up to her, like even like after like fights or disagreements, or when it's like not comfortable, knowing that like, okay, I got another shot at this thing today. Like that's super dope. Like that is just not like, because relationships are so fleeting nowadays. Like to know that like I got another shot at my wife today. So that's something that is a top 5 moment for me.
So side note, when he said that, it reminded me of, it's not one of my tops, but it's pretty high, but it's not my top 5. So my maiden name was Williams. And so I was previously married and had a name I hated, but I kept because of the children. And I hated the name so bad, but I didn't want to let go of it because of the kids. And so
This is your honorable mention?
This is. So when we started dating and I knew he was my husband, one of the exciting things for me was knowing that I was going to get to be a Williams again, because I grew up being a Williams. Like, I was a Williams. And so it was like, I didn't have to figure out what it sounded like to be Sabrina Williams, because that's what I was growing up. Most people cannot say that. I don't think there's many women who can say, I got married and it was my maiden name. That's pretty awesome. So my number 4 is our first date. That's most definitely one of my top 5s because.
Well, then I'm good. Then I got my last 2. Go ahead.
Because it allowed me to see him in a different light. Our story is so unique. And
maybe one day we'll get the gumption to tell
Right.
you it all, but
and
not
I
today.
think very intriguing. So our first date was not what I expected. Even though I had known him for 17 years is what we realized, 17 years. I never saw him in this light. So our first date was the first time I saw him like, oh, okay. Like, that's how I saw him. And so it was really eye-opening. And it didn't take me too much longer after the first date to realize that Okay, I remember praying for somebody who knew it was going to be him. Like,
Mind you, she was very specific about the attributes, the details, and all of
I
that.
was very specific in my prayers, down to height, everything. And, you know, God, haha, an inch shorter, but everything else that I prayed for on my
And really,
long
with shoes
list,
on, it don't matter.
right, on my long list of things, he is everything that I prayed for. So, in our first date, it was revealed to me that this is who I prayed for. And the flip side of it was like, nah, dude, that can't be who I prayed for. Like, haha, God, you're funny.
7 years later. Hi, guys.
But that most definitely is one of my top fives, because it was everything I never expected, but everything that I always wanted.
So to piggyback off of her, the next one is our first date. But it's like our first date slash the first time we went to see a movie, right? So like
That's great.
because that was like it was like the second date. It was like
I don't even remember.
it was like one of the first few dates we went on. But like our first date was dope because like she said, it was the first time she actually like saw me as like a viable candidate.
Absolutely.
Right? But it was really cool. But like it was a great experience because watching her go through the process, and which at the time I didn't know what was going on. I just thought like she was a lightweight, and she like, you know, she just had to
Not a
pee a lot.
But
But
not a white.
that was
We're
not
gonna tell
that was not the
story yet,
case.
but-
But to know now on the back end like what was actually going on, like her realizing like me, who I was, right? So
right.
that, but then
Brandon Williams was the person that I was like, oh,
right.
crap.
But
Okay, Brandon.
then the first movie date was significant because like we sat there, and like one thing about my wife, like my wife is easily turned off. Like not just in relationship settings, but like by people in general. So it doesn't take much to like be like, you know what, I'm good. Like I'm straight. So
Let me say, had he done anything, because
you gotta let me tell it first.
Well,
Wait,
just say this part. Had he done anything,
that's the crucial part.
I would have been like, sheesh. So that's all I'm saying.
So we went to see, was it Two Guns with Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg? We went to see Two Guns, and in the entire movie, I sat with my hands on my knees like the whole time. Like I didn't move.
Like
I didn't turn
he was
to her.
sitting up straight with his hands.
Like,
Imagine these are his knees.
because everybody
like his hands were like this.
everybody knows that, you know, the movies are kind of intimate. You can kind of snuggle a little bit. You can all of that. Like I didn't do none of that. Right.
So to me, that was weird as all get out.
It was weird, but she respected it.
I did, but I was like, I truly told my homegirl, like, dude, like something's wrong with him, because he didn't like scratch. He did not move his hands the entire 2-hour movie. Like his hands were on his lap, like touching
it was on my
his
knees. It was on my knees
the whole time. And I'm thinking, that's some weird shit. Real talk.
But it
like,
wasn't though, because I knew if I made a move, it was gonna kill it. Like it was gonna kill it.
It was very true, because if anything happened, I would have never talked to him again.
It was gonna kill it. So that's my moment. Like that, the first date slash the first movie date. So.
Okay, so my last one. Oh my gosh, I'm not prepared because I was talking in yours. Crap.
I slick forgot my last one.
Good, because I don't have mine. Let's see.